I think Dave's gonna win. If anybody would like to give me odds on Dave winning, let me know. You can have the tie.
I'll go about 1-3.
But we should be getting started here in just a couple of minutes. They're probably taking care of some last-minute announcements, since a lot of people will be headed right to the airport after the fourth game. Round 20 concludes today. I'm happy I get to stay here for an extra day for once, so I'm not in that rush. Last year I directed this tournament and actually had to leave before the last game. So it looks like stream should be coming live.
But they're playing 4 straight, not having lunch or anything, Conrad?
Correct, yeah. So it's got to try to get people to the airport as fast as possible. I know we had some people who had some trouble getting in on Friday, but I think the weather's supposed to be a bit better in various places today. But it should be a fun match. Both of the Daves are no strangers to the late nights of New Orleans and having the occasional beer, perhaps, and then coming back and trying to play Scrabble, which is not the easiest feat to do, but they've both continued to impress me with their ability to do that. But it looks like we got a couple more minutes before the game starts, so yeah, we had so last night we were playing Anagrams, which is a Scrabble variant where you get to play a lot of longer words. And played with Dave. I've probably played Anagrams with Dave Wiegand probably 100 times. We both used to live in the same city, but Dave actually came up with a phony at one point, which if you know Dave Wiegand, he knows the 7s, the 8s, most of the 9s at times. He tried Word Gear, which is a brand of people who were selling Scrabble things in the US, and we all had a rare moment where we got to laugh at a Dave Wiegand word knowledge mistake. But
well, he played Creakers the other day and got away with it.
Yeah, he told me that. He said he wasn't sure. I mean, for 5 points, I would have challenged it, but
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was on commentary and I thought is that a word? But you know, had it been played against me, I would have challenged it. But you know, I was thinking when he put it down, I thought, oh, maybe it is then. But I would have still challenged. I think I would.
Yeah, for 5 points, may as well. He told me afterwards. I happened to be around then. He said he just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Willing to try it, which seems very reasonable.
Oh. Better than Creaks.
Exactly. Screaker.
Screaker, yeah. That would be nice.
Recasker.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. But we didn't keep Dave Wiegand up too late yesterday, so I know he's played this tournament after going to bed at 5 a.m. the night before and then won the tournament. So he's truly one of the kings of New Orleans. I say this with Dave Koenig, of course, what Koenig means in German. So stealing his last name and repurposing it to Dave Wiegand. Sorry, yeah. But looking ahead to perhaps some other pairings for the standings the rest of the way. Over in the TWL division, Ben Schoenbrun's up 1 game, but virtually no spread on a few people from the West Coast. Mike Baker and Carl Johnson out of Portland, Oregon, and Jack Norman out of my home, lives about 5 minutes from me in Oakland, California. And then here in Collins, as I mentioned, we have Dave and Evans are 3 games clear of the field, so look for them to be playing a couple of times. And having run a club with them in Portland for multiple years, their games never cease to amaze. So it should be really fun. And then hopefully soon we will get started.
So is Austin Shin playing Evans in the first game, Conrad?
I suspect so. I will check. Also, hello, Jackson. How's it going? Let me find out. I'm going from my mobile phone. Cool. Yeah, Evans is in fact playing Austin, as seems normal. And yeah, basically the reason to pair with 4 rounds out is that, in theory, Dave Koenig or Austin Shin could hypothetically win the tournament back 3 with 4 games out. So with this many games left, you wouldn't be giving Wiegand or Evans an unfair advantage. So it makes sense that they would get paired here. Last year, actually, we were in a kind of a similar situation where I directed this tournament last year. I decided to actually change what Tish told me as the pairings because it was going to lock somebody out in a situation that I didn't feel it was right to. That person actually then won the tournament. So
they had you to thank for it.
I felt somewhat vindicated, even though they're like, don't worry about it, it's okay. That was Rob Rabinski who then beat Dave in the final round. But it looks like we're about to get started.
Yeah, shaking hands.
Yeah. As I said, I think Dave's going to win, but we'll see. We'll commentate anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dave's going to start, and you'll see his letters coming out right now, and he's got the blank, and it looks very good already, and it certainly is.
Let's see, is there anything? Nothing jumps out immediately, but
no, it doesn't, does it? Those 2 eyes are spoiling things a little bit.
Yeah, you might be stuck on a short play to start. I apologize in advance. I woke up very recently and mentioned was not playing anagrams with Dave Wiegand until very late. So no judgment if I miss, satires or something. We'll see.
I'm very well rested, Conrad, but I'll still miss things.
I'd be willing to bet that there's nothing in this rack, so probably looking at a short opener. Yes, Aaron, I am in New Orleans. I come to this tournament every year, but I don't usually play in it. I love that you found Iberian, Jackson. I'm going to be there in a couple days, so you're making me think ahead to the end of the week. I'm not super inclined to go with an exchange one. Here, Jackson, I think that you're going to give your opponent fewer options after BI, and I would hazard a guess that your average bingo score next turn would not be 8 points higher than the 8 points you would get from BI. But don't take my word for it. Quackle can handle turn 1, so what do you think, Jerry?
I would play BI.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just feels right to me. Of course, if he exchanges, that's going to be an exchange for Dave as well. If he plays BI, I suppose Dave's going to play QIN, is he?
Yeah, it's still worth it.
And hope for the best with 2 ends. But be interesting here. He might change one. That's what's going through his mind.
Yeah.
Holding on to one. That's what he's going to do. He's going to change one.
He's going to change one.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see him do that.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see Dave change. Change 2 ends and a Q. That's certain. So back to the start.
and look, Dave.
Oh no.
Drew an I. Or was that just a? No, he just changed one again. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, once you've made the decision, you're.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's like when you're in a situation like that when you're so close. Since I'm a defensive player, I really want to get on the board and start to shape the board in any way that I can, because I know that my opponent's tiles are probably not better than mine. And now you get into the situation where, you know, Dave Koenig has a bingo, and you know, Dave's gonna actually kind of just be playing even but one turn behind. So, you know, who's to say that Dave wouldn't have drawn IU or something to go with after BI? But this is sort of the situation that I fear starting with a blank like that. No, Arshin is the only bingo here.
Yeah. And
depending upon where Dave plays it, the other Dave, Wiegand, will get more points. That seems like an interesting choice of where to play it. But I guess given that Dave is exchanging one, he knows that. Given that Dave Wiegand is exchanging one, I think that Dave Koenig is trying to ensure that the S is about as reasonably out of play as possible, and putting you know, the hardest tile to hit in that double word lane. So I think what Dave Koenig has done here is quite reasonable. If there's anything crazy here, I'm sure Wiegand will find it. He taught me a cool new Collins 8 last night, Komitaji, Komitaji, that wowed a crowd of people all rated over 2,000. So
yeah. If you know words like that, one day you'll get to play them. One day. One day,
yeah. I used to be that level with TWL, which, you know, largely translates over to Collins, but haven't gotten to get into those awesome Collins low probability words that I hope one day I will get to, because there's so much fun stuff. And so it looks like Dave's found his highest scoring bingo here of either Aubrietta or Aubricia. So he really has no reason. I don't know. Might take the points here, but we'll give Dave Koenig a bunch of points back if that's what he decides to do.
Yeah, he's certainly got scoring potential there.
Yeah, would be interesting. He's got no shortage of options of valid bingos here, but so Aaron, are you still up in Madison? What's the weather like up there today? Is it any better than it was in the last couple of days? Gonna shout at our brave stream coming in on a U.S. holiday morning. Oh, cool. Still haven't made it up there yet. One of these days, I swear, I'm gonna make it up there. Aaron lives up in Madison, Wisconsin, after a long stint in Boston.
I've got a friend here who runs a wakeboarding club, and he's from Wisconsin, and he named his daughter Madison.
Oh, cool. You know, there's so a lot of Wisconsin pride. I lived with a Wisconsinner in Portland at the Scrabble house for a couple years, and just I feel like it's one of the proudest U.S. states in like really only good ways. Just very friendly and just genuinely like optimistic about things.
Good. You need a bit of optimism over there at the moment.
Yeah, we do. So I always like hanging out with people from Wisconsin, because just genuinely like awesome people to be around, and one of the 3 remaining U.S. states I've not yet been to. So one of these days. This is unusual to see Dave Wiegand at 18 minutes, already having used 7 minutes without making a play.
That's amazing, isn't it? He's certainly spending his time on this.
Yeah, I mean, Wiegand tends to play nice open boards. That's really where he thrives. But the highest scoring play of Abrieta or Brescia is just so open that he's kind of he's giving back automatically a few extra points for his opponent on the next turn, and I just think he doesn't want to do that. So it looks like he's found, I think, what's quite possibly the best play of Barik. He's gonna use the blank as a cue.
That's nice.
After Dave just traded one. So it's a nice play and almost certainly the best one. So worth the extra time. If it took him a while to find it. It'll be interesting to see if Dave Koenig decides to try to play Dave a bit fast. He's good at managing his time, but if he gets stuck with a few tough racks, it's possible that Dave Koenig could run him down a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, looking over here from Koenig's side, he can certainly score points, but get back a lot of points. Or he could opt for what we'd call the more quackly approach. Wow, I'm amazed he's not even thinking about this. This is very strange to me that he would play this fast. And as such, he's missed JAAP for 40, which is a significantly better play. So it looks like he is trying to fast play Dave, and that's going to come back to bite him here because that's a pretty sizable miss because he's just giving back so many more points with that J. It's very easy for Wiegand to drop, Joey or something. And
which he'll probably do.
Yeah,
I think so. That X, he can play to that I. He picks up a U. Be interesting because he could play EAUX.
Yeah. And he'd probably drop the E now, but he could certainly get a Jackson JAAP, making JAAR and PI. So you get the 18 for the P and the 16 for the J. Yeah, so seems
pretty quick for Mr. Wiegand there, wasn't it, Joey? He jumped to it with Joey, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like he could have played it faster given how much time he's already used, but yeah, it does seem possible that maybe Dave missed JYNX, but maybe he was going for the setup. I don't know. It's tough to say. And yeah, now Dave Koenig. It's I might just start calling them by their last names because that's what I usually refer to them anyway. That's looks like probably the right play from Koenig here. Fun sticky S, as in it does not drop the S, plural of OU. Fun little word there. But giving himself a chance to draw into another bingo next turn to keep pace. And well, maybe he didn't do that, but yeah, looks like Dave can definitely drop XU here pretty quickly and keep a great lead going forward for the next turn in pretty good shape. So it appears in this case that playing Joey will work out better for Dave, but there's certainly an argument to be said. Dave's end. Yeah, I mean, I suspect Dave, will just be rack balancing again here. He can score pretty decently. Keep the board kind of closed and score some points. I don't know. You see anything interesting here? Yeah, Craig, Jap was the one I was mentioning that Wiegand really probably played way too fast. Probably just trying to speed play Wiegand. But oh yeah, see, there's a fun Collins word I don't personally know, but is clearly the best play. I need to even look up if... Okay, so reef looks like it's a verb. Personally never seen that one, but... My instinct would say that Koenig might not know that. Re-through. Classic phony. That would be very interesting if Koenig tried that, but I suspect Wiegand would challenge it off very fast. I've gotten away with rethrown before. R-E-T-H-R-O-W-N. But apparently once you throw something, you cannot throw it again. But that would score an abundance of points if you were to try it. Except then it would probably score 0 points. And then, yeah, looking ahead, Wiegand will probably bingo next turn, so those extra points for Reef might come in handy should he know it and find it here. Well, it's looking like he found it. It's a nice play. Should he, in fact, then put it down. He's got it spelled out. I'll put him in about as good of shape as he can hope to be, given Wiegand's impending bingo here. Morning, Zev. How's it going up there in Toronto? Yeah, I'm not surprised that we'd find some snow up there this time of year. Sadly, we had a couple of players couldn't make it this year because they got stuck in epic Toronto snowstorm, which is unfortunate for all involved. You don't ever want to see. We usually think of weather canceling a sporting event, but not weather canceling your ability to get to it. So yeah, props to Koenig here for an excellent find of. It means the same thing as reef. It is a verb. Those of you who don't want to open your word finder, but should be a pretty quick bingo coming back here, or Wiegand to keep the pace. Assuming probably Ganoids is what will get played. Sounds like the play was held. Wiegand will bingo regardless, of course, but for 5 points could be worth it. But looks like Koenig has drawn tiles, so the game will continue on. And a pretty rotten pickup for Koenig. Thanks for the heads up there, Kate. We appreciate since I can't really hear too much from here. It's always interesting to see when players, do hold plays. You can kind of learn, especially in 5 and 10 point challenge, who is and isn't likely to give up the 5 points and maybe more likely to trust their opponents. I know both of these players are certainly open to trying the occasional intentional phony. But but Wiegand is in pretty good shape here. I think we lost Jerry for a couple minutes here. So, Jerry, please tell me to shut up if you come back. But I think for the moment, you're stuck with me. It's all right, Kate. We still love you, even if you don't multitask. And I don't think we needed Quackle to tell us that Ganoids was the best play. So, my Scrabble skills have certainly decayed over the last few years, but I can still hold steady with Ganoids. Might need help again here, though. I mean, all in all, I'm pretty close to a well-played game so far. Really just JAAP, which I don't know how to pronounce, which is why I keep pronouncing it, or why I keep spelling it. Ooh, lugworm. That's pretty and also interesting. Could be.
I lost you there, Conrad. I'm
welcome back.
So we saw XU go down, and okay.
Yeah, so XU, Koenig made an excellent play of WRETHE, which was an excellent find. Took a couple minutes. It was held, released. Then Dave Wiegand, of course, played Ganoids. And Koenig finds himself in a kind of awful situation, but the fun lugworm could add an interesting element of variance to the game, which really he kind of needs right now. Won't hurt him too badly if Dave comes back with BAM or something, I assume. But
yeah.
Did I accidentally say a racial slur? I wouldn't be surprised if I did. Is Ganoid a bad word?
I don't know what it means.
I know.
It sounds a bit like gonad, but
I know, right? I did have the distinction when I won the U.S. National Championship a few years ago. There was a bad word on the board that's in the expurgated word list, but nobody noticed because it was not a well-known one. So there are a lot of news articles throughout the world that have a bad Scrabble word on them. I don't know. That's kind of a fun one. Yes. Job is close to a racial slur, although I don't think that's what it means in Scrabble. Welcome to Sam Rosen and to Marsh Richards. Yeah, I was pretty sure that JAP. Oh, good. Dave Koenig is going for lugworm. This is exciting. It's fun. Nice. Variance. We are all about variance here this morning, and he needs it too because.
Yeah, it's nice. It clears things up very well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And gets 6 shots at an S, which could make for a good start to a comeback. And it's nice because it's hard for Wiegand to use the spot, really either spot, unless he has an M. Of course, he has an M. So, and Koenig did not pick up an S. We'll see if Wiegand is able to. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got Brava spelled out. Seems like a unreasonably offensive play to make here, setting up the double, but he may be trying to think multiple turns down the road. Of course, if he does in fact play, oh no, I mean, yeah, it really does depend, because if he if he opts for the right side, Koenig has, Kufi for 1 billion points next turn. And if not, we'll see. Yeah, really, JAP is kind of coming back to haunt Koenig so far because he's played an excellent game otherwise. What are you thinking here from Wiegand's point of view? Do you take Bam? You start to screw up the top right? That's a bit of a turning point for Wiegand here, I think. Yeah, Kufi, I think, was added in 2006. Yes, he's just going with Bam. Seems like a reasonable thing to do here. He'd be sacrificing a bit much otherwise. Maybe I will buy Jackson a Kufi. Not that I have access to one right now, but is there a good spot for Kif here, or certainly Griff? Yeah, like Griff here. A nice advantage of that play is now that he's down quite a bit, is he opens up the exact sort of bingo lane you want to open when you're down. Is that double-double's hard for Wiegand to do too much with. And, if he does manage to pull a bingo there, can really score a ton of points going forward and gives himself 4 more shots at that much-needed S. Instead, he draws, well, more Drek, although this does leave him Iroko next turn if it stays open, which would kind of keep him in fighting distance, or Oik, I suppose. But looking back at Wiegand here, do you see anything interesting here for him? Ooh, wow, yeah, Fife. I didn't think of the F hook on B. Oops. That is yeah, that's a big miss. Good morning, well, good afternoon, Will. I guess it's just me again, so I'll just keep talking at you guys until I do something like, say, a racial slur or whatever else I'm close to doing. Let's say Joey a bunch of times. Joey, 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 Joey. Yeah, but it's been fun. Just want to throw a quick shout out to NASPA. Not sure. I actually don't know what the Twitter handle is offhand. Perhaps if someone who does know, which I think is a lot of you, could post it in the chat. We would love to have you. Certainly love to have you follow the stream in Twitch if you haven't yet. It would be really helpful for all of us. We can get more support going forward. So, yeah, Oik comes down on Koenig's side. Actually, don't know what. Yeah, okay, Gat was played. Had the Skype thing up there, so to me, it looked like my avatar had been played. Looking ahead, yeah, finally a chance maybe for Koenig to get back in it as the second blank shows up on his rack. Kind of surprised he didn't do Iroko. Seemed like a good time to bust the board open, get an extra couple shots at the blank, which he, ended up getting anyway. But Uh, yeah, I feel like Koenig's been playing a bit fast here. He's still trying to slow play or to fast play Wiegand a bit. But I think that's kind of been coming back to haunt him so far. Certainly after missing JAAP beginning,
right.
and yeah,
it's only about three minutes difference anyway at the moment.
right, yeah. But missing Fife, which by playing Griff so fast, again, just hurts. Yeah, I mean, I'm the close border, and I even prefer Iroko. So if you have Will and me agreeing on a play, chances are, unless we both missed something, it's probably the thing you want to do. Just want to throw a brief shout out. We're gonna have an awesome tournament coming up next month in the woods outside of Portland, Oregon. That we're gonna have both Dave Wiegand and Will Anderson at. I'll be playing in this tournament, and I'm super excited to have a shot at both of them. Should be
in the
really
woods.
fun.
You're playing in the woods, did you say?
Yeah, there's this cool little kind of hippie town outside of Portland, Hood River. It's right on the Columbia River, and a different Scrabble player who's playing in this tournament, Randy Goldberg, was out there last summer, and they found this big kind of retreat house that sleeps like 20 people. So on an impulse, we booked it, and then got an awesome group of people who are going to show up. It's going to be really fun. Yeah, we have a number of former national champions playing. The ones who are still good, like Dave and Will, and the has-beens, like yours truly here. But it's looking pretty good for Wiegand here, who's probably gonna bingo again. Yeah, Will's the 8th seed and I'm the 7th seed. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess Koenig could either go with VoIP here, or maybe he'll find the P hook on Beep. In this situation, you don't want to open scoring spots. You more want to. Well, he's going to play VoIP anyway. Here, I might be more inclined to take PIE because this, putting that V there is exactly what Wiegand needs to score a quick 30. As we know, it's academic because Dave is going to do his, Dave Wiegand thing where he goes. He immediately reorganizes his tiles. Oh, I'm up to the 4th seed now? Oh, wow. That's crazy. I was at one point, I thought the 7th seed. I do not think I'm going to win. I might win the, I don't know, most beer award or something. I was going to ask the crowd if they could find Koenig's bingo because it's going to be super awesome, but he immediately spelled it out. But it's an excellent find. If there's an eclipse, yeah. We had a similar tournament in August in Nashville. We rented out a house for the big eclipse last summer, and I drew everything against everyone. In full disclosure, I thought KEAN was a word, so that's why you're all probably thinking I'm like a moron.
Oh, I see.
But,
right. Okay, because I was really wondering where on earth he was going to do that.
Yeah, as I gave a disclaimer earlier, I'm rather tired. I thought KEAN was maybe a Collins 4. Don't mind me, everyone. But I swear I found Frenzily instantly, and I also see Cyanid. So, and this is why I'm not going to win the tournament next month.
So that's nice. That's not a word you see every day.
No. And it'll put him briefly into the lead, only so that the other Dave can immediately take the lead. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. You have to give Wiegand props for Koenig props for finding all of the cool, like, tough plays. Lugworm, Wreath, Frenzily. It was just the more obvious plays like Jop and Fife.
Yeah.
I would argue probably vehemently that VoIP was a mistake, but it's neither here nor there. Yeah, it was really just the plays that should be more automatic that kind of cost him here. Whereas Wiegand has made all of those plays and hasn't had to make any super hard finds. I think Frenzily was in everything Scrabble or something. Or maybe someone once played it for like 350. Situationally, Jackson, I think I would have taken PIE because when you're down, 60, 70, there's really no reason to be opening your opponent a easy 30-plus point hotspot when there's, nothing. There's nowhere else really to score. And IVOR, there's some things, could draw something from the T. There's, options for Tavares, Travois, whatever. Barik is a hard find for, like, those of us mortals. For Dave, he was probably just sitting there debating Abrietta and Barik for 5 minutes. But it's a pretty sweet play. So yeah, 6 in the six in the bag. Yeah, interestingly, it is a very friendly remaining pool for Koenig, which he doesn't know because there's a couple tiles in there that would be pretty rough for him. So, basically his hope here is that Wiegand has the Q. I mean, he doesn't really hope that because he can score 31, but there's definitely something to be said for Koenig finding a 5-tile play that can outscore QI for 31 because he really needs to force Dave to empty the bag here, I think. Yes, if Wiegand has the QI comes down for 31. So I mean, maybe he's looking at trying to set up a triple or something, like to a 5-tile draw. It's just if QI comes down at any point, I wonder maybe this is a pre-end game where Koenig actually needs to play really short and try to go for the Q, because Wiegand's not going to empty the bag, obviously. I think the problem with a play like Cent is that, QI comes down for 31, and, no matter what, Wiegand can outscore. But we'll see if my words come back to bite me, because as we see, Dave has in fact drawn a bingo. Koenig has in fact drawn a bingo, hooking his setup of Cent here. But I just don't think Cent is ever going to win, because he's just not going to. He's not going to be able to score enough too often. I do wonder if maybe the right play was to just play off 1 or maybe 2, try to draw the Q. Or play 5 and force Dave to play the Q if he has it, if there's a play that allows him to score enough. I'm not sure. But given what's in the pool, looks like Wiegand should be fine to win the game. It's going to draw DL. I mean, props to Koenig, for finding a nice way to cut spread. That'll certainly be helpful for him, given that he's, was 3 games back of the leaders, but also even with 3rd place. So you're not really wanting to lose that spread here. But I think certainly provided that Wiegand plays in the top left, will definitely win. But I think as long as he makes a valid play here, he should be good to go. But overall, a decently well played game. If Koenig finds his more automatic plays, he might take this one, because he really came through on some of the really tough plays. Lugworm, Reef, Frenzely, certainly an awesome play. But I don't know if we have any update as for who won in Evans Clinchy against Austin Shin. Boston can stick around in the tournament. He's got Dave Wiegand's number right now after coming back on him at Nationals last year.
Yeah. He's obviously whoever wins that game. Well, I think whoever wins that.
Yeah, no update from that game yet. They're still playing. Yeah, I'd be interested if someone runs a manual pre-end game sim with their brain to find out if maybe there was a play with a better win shot than sent. It's probably not something Quackle could quite handle. That would require a lot of computing power. Not that our human brains would be able to figure it out, but maybe a pseudo-random search that we could pull off might help. So Koenig will go out in a second here to make it close, but not close enough. Wiegand will put the impetus on Evans to keep pace here. Looks like we're going to have likely a battle of Pacific Northwesters, which is not the biggest surprise given that they're the 1 and 2 seeds in the tournament. Evans now representing Tacoma, Washington, and Dave, of course, longtime resident of Northeast Portland, Oregon. Koenig probably taking a sec here to look for something weird, but not to be found. Always wonder at what point there you try to make some 33-point phony, such that if Wiegand doesn't challenge it off, he doesn't want to risk the game or something. Certainly that happens on occasion. Yeah, Tacoma is south of Seattle, so the Seattle airport is SeaTac Airport. It's for Seattle and Tacoma. It's kind of like the less loved younger sibling or something. There's not too much going on in Tacoma, but it's where they're at. They hosted a fun one day at their house not too long ago. Evans hosted the tournament for his birthday, and of course won, as you do on your own birthday tournament. Yeah, so we're going to go to a brief break here, and afterwards I'm actually not sure who's going to be up next, but Dave Wiegand beats Dave Koenig in a nice round 17 game. See you guys soon.